What's up guys, it's time for another predictions video. This time it's for UFC 216 Ferguson versus Lee. I'm doing this one a little bit early. It's about 2 weeks out from the event, so hopefully no matchups change. But I expect this to be a great card and I wanted to get my predictions out here as fast as I could. Before I start my predictions, I just want to let you guys know that I'm putting timestamps in the description of this video. So if there's a particular fight you want to hear me talk about and you want to skip the rest, you can just click on those timestamps. I'm also about to do a quick review of last night's fight, the Yushin Okami versus St. Preux card. So if you'd like to skip that as well, you can. Okay, so I just want to briefly talk about the UFC Japan card from last night. As you can see, I got 5 out of 6 winners picked correctly, and I got 3 methods of victory picked correctly. The only differences between these predictions and the predictions I made in my last video are obviously the first fight here, which was Formiga versus Sasaki. It was bumped up from the prelims to replace the Mizuto Hirota Charles Rosa fight. Mizuto Hirota was actually deemed unfit to fight by the doctors because he had a terrible weight cut, so that fight was taken off. And then the Claudia fight, I think in my last video I said Claudia was going to win by decision, but then I ended up saying she was going to win by submission. It didn't really matter anyway because she got absolutely destroyed for the entire fight, which really surprised me. But overall, things went pretty much how I expected them to. If we're being fair, in the second round, Claudia did lock up a nasty guillotine, but it was in like the last 10 seconds, so she couldn't get Jessica to tap. And Taruto did run out there and smash Rolando in the first round. He just completely dazed him. It was a 10-8 round. He beat the crap out of him. But then D came back, and I actually found myself pulling for him, but Taruto still pulled out the decision victory. And in the main event, Oven St. Preux, that fight was weird. It's like Yushin Okami just ran out there, shot a really lazy shot, got on his back, and then got submitted by the Von Flue choke. So, I mean, I was wrong because I said it was going to be a decision, but I wasn't really surprised by the finish. Okay, back to the UFC 216 predictions. For the first fight, we have Beneil Dariush versus Evan Dunham. Evan Dunham is on a 4-fight win streak, and Beneil is coming off of a nasty knockout loss to Edson Barboza. I'm pretty sure Beneil is the favorite here, but I really don't see him winning, and let me tell you why. I think Evan Dunham is the much cleaner and crisper striker, and I think as soon as the striking doesn't go Beneil's way, he's going to shoot him for a takedown. First of all, that's what got him knocked out in his last fight, and second of all, Evan Dunham is a black belt in jiu-jitsu too. In terms of ground game skills, these guys are probably close to even, but I do think Evan has the advantage on the feet and he starts faster. Not to mention that Beneil might be a little tentative, as most guys are after they get knocked out. He also might have a suspect chin at this point he got destroyed by Edson Barboza. It might not affect him at all, but in terms of the fight, I think that Evan is going to be able to grind out a decision win over Beneil and get the upset. For the second fight, we have Paige VanZant versus Jessica Evil Eye. And before I get into this one, I just want to say that, guys, I'm feeling a little bit risky right now, so my predictions might reflect that. I'm willing to be completely wrong, but I just don't think I will be. Paige is a very talented girl. She was the runner-up on Dancing with the Stars, and she won that celebrity cooking show. But in terms of the UFC, she's not that good. She's really not. She wasn't... Okay, so she's ranked number 10 in strawweight, and she's going to move up to flyweight. And flyweight hasn't really had a chance to materialize yet, but her flyweight debut fight being against Jessica Eye, that's really not good for her. Jessica Eye was a flyweight before the UFC. She was really good in the flyweight before the UFC. She's currently on a 4-fight losing streak, but that was a weight class above what she usually fights. Not to mention that Jessica has fought way better girls than Paige has, like Miesha Tate, Alexis Davis, and Bethe Correia. Jessica's last fight was a split decision loss to Bethe Correia. I think Bethe Correia would kill Paige VanZant. And I know you can't really compare through weight classes like that, but I'm just saying, I mean, Paige, I hope your book sells. I hope your modeling career goes well, but I really don't see you beating Jessica Eye in any possible way. Paige is the, I think, heavy favorite, which I understand because Jessica's on the skid right now. But for my prediction, I think Jessica I is going to get a decision victory. Also, guys, I promise this isn't influencing my decision at all, but I think Jessica looks way better. Next up, we have Fabricio Werdum versus Derrick, the African American Beast Lewis. And for this fight, it was an easy prediction for me. Derrick Lewis looked terrible in his last fight against Mark Hunt. I know he had some kind of back injury or something, but he gassed out quick. He always gasses out quick. Fabricio, I just think, is on such a higher level than Derrick Lewis. I think Fabricio actually won his last fight against Overeem. I would consider that a robbery. Overeem is a really good kickboxer, and Fabricio even had him hurt in certain situations. So unless Derrick gets lucky and just gets a super early knockout, I think if it goes past the first round, Fabricio is going to get the finish. And honestly, if Mark Hunt could TKO Derrick Lewis at this point in his career, I think Fabricio could definitely, maybe not knock him out, but he could get the TKO finish as well if Derrick gasses out, which he probably will. Fabricio has fought better guys. He's had a longer career. He can recover from being hurt, so I think that if it goes past the first round, he's definitely going to win. I think Derrick Lewis's only chance to win would be if he just went out there in the first round and just started swinging for the fences. But generally, he's a slow starter, and he doesn't really have that fast of a pace throughout the entire fight. So I definitely think, well, my prediction is that Fabricio is going to get a knockout or TKO in the third round. I think that most good guys in the heavyweight division have that glass chin disease, and Fabricio is ready to pass it on to Derrick Lewis. Next up, for the co-main event, we have a fight that I've already predicted before. This was supposed to be the main event of UFC 215, but Ray got sick, so he pulled out. I think the same thing's gonna happen. I don't think Demetrious should be fighting Ray Borg for this record. I think he should be fighting Henry Cejudo or Joseph Benavidez or even TJ Dillashaw over Ray Borg. I'm not taking anything away from Ray Borg. He is a great fighter, but I just think he's too young. He needs to develop his skills more. I think Mighty Mouse is better in pretty much every position, and Ray Borg doesn't, or at least lately it seems like he hasn't really finished any fights. Demetrious has, so I think that Demetrious, I'm just going to give Ray Borg the benefit of the doubt here, and I'm going to say that Demetrious wins by decision. I don't think he's going to finish Ray, so my prediction is that Mighty Mouse wins by decision. And finally, for the main event, we have Tony Ferguson versus Kevin Lee. Honestly, I think this is going to be an all-out brawl. I think this is going to be a really hard grind session for both guys. I don't see either one of them finishing each other unless there's some kind of fluke. I think it'd be more likely for Tony Ferguson to finish Kevin Lee somehow. I don't really see Kevin finishing Tony at all. But I think that Tony's going to get the decision. I just think that he's by far the more experienced guy. Both of these guys also have pretty solid win streaks. I just think that Tony has fought and beaten more quality opponents than Kevin has. I think Kevin probably needed about 1 or 2 more fights before he was going to go against somebody like Tony. The more experienced guy is going to win this fight, so my prediction is Tony Ferguson by decision. It's going to be a hard-fought decision, but I definitely think it's going to be a decision. Thanks for watching this far, guys. I really appreciate it. I'm going to try to make some more of these prediction videos, probably for every card or close to every card. I just want you to know that I put a lot of time and effort into this, and I don't want to be wrong because I have my pride and self-respect on the line here, but I'm perfectly willing to eat my words and just be completely wrong for you guys. So your support is very much appreciated. Thank you.